Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and touch upon my top 10 fall designer scents for the year 2015. This video is a month early than I usually put these ones out, just because of the fact that a lot of people have been asking previously for me to release these videos sooner before the fall season occurs so they can have an idea of what they might wish to purchase. Now, a couple of ground rules just before we get into the video. The first thing is this list is my list. This is what I am particularly wearing. It's not necessarily what I think are the best fragrances for the fall. These are the fragrances that I'm going to be wearing, and these are fragrances that I've ranked based off of whatever reasons that I have, which I'll explain later on in the video. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, and that's kind of to avoid, a lot of times get comments, oh, I think fragrance X is better than fragrance Y, which is perfectly fine, but in terms of my terms, I've just decided that these fragrances work for me, and I'm going to be wearing them. Now, other thing is, what do I consider fall? I have a global audience. Of that global audience, I live in New York, right? So fall for me, it can start off really hot, and by really hot I mean 90, 95, but then it starts to cool down considerably towards the end of fall, where it starts becoming chilly, like 40s, 50s, 60s basically. So it can get pretty cold and at the same time pretty warm, so I like fragrances to have kind of like a range to it. But I generally tend to start gearing for the colder weather, so they tend to be on the darker side, I've noticed now. So that's just another thing to actually keep in mind, all right? So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the fragrances. I like to go through this quick and give you what my fragrances are. Let's wait for the train to pass for a second. That was a loud one. And get right into it. So starting with number 10. Actually, before I start with number 10, let me give you a quick segue off of what is missing. The fragrance that is missing from this list is Burberry London. Now, Burberry London, I have always said, is the quintessential fall fragrance. I almost always wear it, but this season I'm just not going to be wearing it, just because I've got a little bit sick of it. We'll see if, I kind of put it to the back shelf and I may fall in love with it again, but it's just not what I'm digging. That said, don't be discouraged by the fact that it's not here. I highly suggest, if you're looking for a fall fragrance, go ahead and try that one out. It kind of reminds me of dried leaves and some spices along in it, so give it a whirl. All right, so starting with number 10. The 10th fragrance on the list we're going to go ahead and start with is a new one that was introduced me by a fellow reviewer, and it's called Bentley Intense. Now, sorry for that, I am not sure where I'm actually pointing this, but now Bentley Intense is a fragrance that was recommended to me by Chad, or A Gentleman's Corner, and he put this on to me, and he actually gave me this bottle for free. Now, I was pretty skeptical at first, but when I smelled it, and we did it on video, there's video out there if you want to search for it. I smelled it, I was constantly saying that it reminds me of something else, and sure indeed, when I got home, I figured out what it was. This reminds me of Chambre Noire, which is one of my most favorite fragrances that's currently out there. It's definitely one of my colder weather babies out there, and this one smells like a designer version of it. It smells very close to it. Not exactly the same, but close enough. And for that reason alone, it starts to move up on my list, and I'm starting to feel that I can actually put this one into my rotation. So I'm excited to wear this one for fall. This one, you're going to get like rum, incense. You're going to get rum, incense, and leather. Those are the three main kind of notes that you get from this one, and I absolutely love it for that. So Bentley Intense coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have, from the house of Chanel, we've got Chanel Allure Homme. Sorry, my bottles are a little bit condensing at this point just because I've taken them out of my fragrance cooler. So anyways, this is Chanel Allure Homme. Chanel Allure Homme, it's lemon, vanilla, and I forgot what that last note is that I'm forgetting. Anyways, it reminds me of like a creamy, lemony scent, basically, that's got a little bit of sweetness to it, and really has the DNA of a lot of the other Chanel fragrances that I love. So, Edition Blanche, it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Of Allure Homme Sport, kind of reminds me a little bit of that, because this is the original architect that all those are based off of, basically. And for that, I'm just going back to it, and I feel that I'm going to go ahead and wear this one a lot in the fall as well. So number 9, Allure from Chanel. Number 8. We have another classic that's been in my list time and time again. It's moved down a little bit, but we're talking about Boss Bottles, or Boss number 6, from the house of Hugo Boss. Now this one, warm apple pie. That's what this one reminds me of. Always feels great to wear in the fall. It's a highly versatile fragrance that I kind of wear for almost any scenario that I can think of. If I'm going out and I can't figure out what to wear, this is the fragrance that I spray on casually. To work, you can wear it to work. Pretty much most scenarios that you can think of, you can go ahead and wear this one on. And I think I'm going to start wearing this one a little bit more to work than I did in the previous year. So, and that's also because there's another fragrance that I used to wear a lot that I'm going to kind of shy towards and probably wear that more when it gets colder. All right, that fragrance is called L'Homme, but it's not going to be in this list. So if you were expecting it, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, for number 8, Boss Bottles. Coming in at number 7, we have one from the house of Dior. We've got Dior Homme. Now, Dior Homme, this is the original little bad boy sucker here. This one is lipstick and cocoa. Lipstick, I know you might be thinking, but it works. I was really skeptical of it when I heard of that as well too, but Dior Homme, it gets the job done. So for that, I'm wearing it. It's as simple as that. Now, Dior Homme is one that I usually like to wear going out on a night out. It's a little bit easier on the skin. You're going to get a lot of compliments with this sucker, and it's definitely worth it. So Dior Homme comes in at number 7. At number 6, we have a fragrance that has grown on me. I hated it at first. Now I like it, and it's getting up there in my rotation. We're talking about Fahrenheit. Now this is the original bottle. I've heard that it's been reformulated. This one itself, it smells like leather, and it reminds me heavily of petroleum. Not gasoline, petroleum. So it has this kind of oily, slick feel to it, but it works well in the fall. And at the same time, with those notes, it reminds me of leaves too. So this is like a perfect fall scent that I like to wear out casually. Dress down in jeans, a shirt, and this is one that I kind of like to wear in that transition when it's not cold, it's not hot, it's kind of about to tip cold, but it's not quite there, and that's really when I bust out Fahrenheit. All right. And number 5, another fragrance that has been on my list and many people know about, we're talking about Express Reserve. I am rationing this bad boy just because I know I'm going to have to go ahead and repurchase it, and it's been reformulated since. It's got this clear juice and it's not the same at all. This one is the golden stuff. So pretty soon I'm going to have to go out hunting and purchase another bottle of this, but until I'm off my fragrance embargo, for those of you who know, I'm on a fragrance embargo because we're saving money for wedding house, and as soon as that's done, then I'm going to go back to buying fragrances. But until then, I'm on an embargo, so I'm rationing. All right, Express Reserve, I wear this one out to bars, wear this one out if we go out to a club. This is one that goes high up on the list. It's basically my play fragrance, Express Reserve. Number 4, a fragrance that I finally received back from another reviewer. We're talking about Dolce & Gabbana's The One. The One, fantastic fragrance. It's really a gentleman's fragrance. It's just dried fruits. It's got some sweetness to it, and at the same time, it's not overly kitty sweet to it. So Dolce & Gabbana's The One. One of the negative sides about it is that it doesn't last as long, and the projection isn't as good, but you really can't argue with the scent itself. So this is one when I like to spray when I know I'm going to smell good, but I not necessarily, sorry about the train again, this one's loud. When I'm not necessarily fishing for compliments or, caring that other people smell me, I go ahead and wear this one, which sounds like a bad dig, but again, it's number 4 on my list for a reason. I like wearing it, and it does a great job for what I want it to do, right? Dolce & Gabbana's The One. Number 3, we have got a real monster bad boy here. We've got La Nuit de l'Homme. La Nuit de l'Homme, fantastic fragrance. This is a powdery fragrance that has, I think it was lavender? No. I think it was lavender. Anyways, it's a powdery fragrance. It has spices. It comes off as very sensual. I think it has some vanilla in it as well that gives it a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's very alluring. This is one that is the quintessential night fragrance. You're going out with the guys, you're going out, period. You apply some of this and you are good to go. People are going to think you smell great. You're going to get compliments with it, and this is your wingman for the night, basically. La Nuit de l'Homme at number 3. Number 2, we've got Pure Malt from the House of Terry Muda. Now, Pure Malt, this is one that I love and have always loved. It's almost on every single one of my top fall lists. And the reason why it's getting so high is because a certain other person, my fiance, absolutely loves this one. This is arguably her favorite fragrance on me. So you can almost double this a between the sheets. This is one that I wear not only for my own enjoyment, but I know that she's going to love the hell out of it. And she's going to love the way that I smell the entire night through. So Pure Malt at number 2. It's on there for a reason. Fantastic. Pure Malt. And my number 1 fragrance, still running and gunning, we have got M7 from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. I am so glad I picked this one up. This is the original formulation of it. This is oud, this is amber, this is sensual and mysterious. This is one that gets compliments left, right, and center. They're like, what are you wearing? And I actually try and hold back a little just because, you know, I don't want too many people running around with this scent because I absolutely love it. I've been meaning to review it. Unfortunately, I haven't actually got to it, but I'm definitely going to get to it this fall, so watch out for a review on this sucker. All right? So that's number 1 for my fall designer fragrances. I'm going to come out with my niche list shortly, so be prepared for that one. But let me know what your top lists are for the fall. Again, always curious. I want to see what you guys are wearing. If there's anything you have to suggest to me that I could possibly throw in, check out, let me know. Always curious for it. And again, I always love seeing your guys' lists. All right? So thank you guys. You guys take care of yourselves and have a great day.